Hi, my name is Sergio Valencia, and today I will be teaching you guys about deterministic finite automata, or as we're going to be referencing to them throughout this video, DFAs. So what are DFAs? Deterministic finite automatons are, in the simplest form, an abstract computing device for devices. So The way, the way a certain machine-like process determines if your output is correct is stored in DFAs. Say you have a traffic light. If it detects an input of someone waiting there, it will go through a DFA whether or not to determine to turn green or something. As well as many of our text editors use deterministic finite automatons in order to determine whether or not you're putting in the right string. This also happens in spell checkers as well as vending machines. So like in vending machines, the amount of quarters you put in will determine whether or not you have enough money to purchase whatever you like on there, such as a candy bar or chips or something. Well, let's get to it. So a DFA recognizes an alphabet, and in this video we'll call it a sigma. This this is the alphabet part of a DFA. So it has 5 parts. The first part is the alphabet. The next part is certain states. This is so like if you enter a quarter into machine, remember that it has a quarter so far. Let's do Q quarter. You're now at a new state. This is essentially as many states as you need. We have another state called the start state. This start state, which would in this case be this guy over here, is where we initialize our finite automata. Essentially, with lambda, we can say that we have not entered anything into our language so far. The next part is a delta. This delta part is the way from once the movement from one state to another state. And then the last part would be a final state. Say this machine only accepted 1/4, then the final state lets you get, once you reach the final state, you can grab the candy bar you want. Okay, so let's test this out with a simple binary type language. Let's have our language be, no, not our language, sorry, our alphabet be 1, because the language is what is accepted by the deterministic finite automaton, or DFA. The language is what is accepted, and in this case, let's do a simple binary type language where it accepts any type of input as long as it has 2 ones next to each other. So it will accept both a 1 it will accept a 0 1 1 0 as well as 1 1 0 0 or 1 0 1 as long as it has somewhere in that string this part a 2 1 bits together. Okay, so how do we draw this deterministic finite automata? This is what you do. You have to have a start state. Let me erase this real quick. So we start off with the start state where we are, where we haven't inputted anything, where we haven't put in any bits so far have come in. You are here at the start state. Once you have gotten an input, say a 0 or a 1, in this case, you want to find the place where it's going to reach 1 1, right? So let's draw our final state here. Bang. This, we have to get to here, this final state. Let's draw another circle right in so we know it's the final state. How do we get here? First, we will need to remember that we hit 1 first, so we need an intermediate state. before reaching that state. It's called S1 right here. So if you haven't been inputted anything and now you do have something in here, this is what you want to do. You want to move over to this state once you found a one input. What's next? If you have this one input, you need one more input of a 1 bit in order to be accepted, right? So what if you got a 0 at this initial state? Well, you'd have a different state, right? Because we also want to accept this type of word where we have 1, 0, 1, 1. So if we are here, or sorry, we want to accept also a 0, 1, 1 part, right? So 0, then we'll go to 1, then I'll go to the last one where it is accepted. So now that it's accepted, oh, we don't need another arrow. We have that arrow already. So now that it's accepted, what happens if we had a 0 here and it was like this? 1, 0, you'd go back here, right? 1, 0, 1, 0. 1 at the end. 1, 0, 1, 1, yeah. So we also want this accepted, so it goes here, it goes from here to here to here to here. This will let it be accepted. But what if you're here? If you got a 0, you just want to stay there, right? You want to keep going 1, 0, 0, 0, keep staying there. That way you have the same path going over there. Let's see. We're also missing what happens after we've reached here. We said for this state, as long as this has been seen, we'll accept anything after it. So we can just draw an arrow back and forth with the 1 and a 0. That way, whenever you do it, whenever you're here, as long as you're here, you can keep going. But let's see, we can definitely reduce the amount of states here that it needs to remember. See how we have an S0 and an S2? Let's draw a table for where they are going. So if you get a 0 and you get a 0 in S2, you both go to S2. S2. If you get a 1 on each of those states, you go to S1. This means they are doing the exact same thing, which means we can erase one of these states and essentially rewrite it as so. The S1 goes to 0, this, and then this S0 goes to itself. If you get a 1, you go back over there. Yep, they're the same now. So this has reduced our machine that accepts 1 1s as long as they're next to each other. Now let's try a little more real world example where, let's say you have a vending machine, right? Let's draw a vending machine real quick. Let's erase all this. So let's say we have in our vending machine, we have as long as we have 30 cents, we could buy anything inside that vending machine. So if we have 35 and so on, we will be able to buy something. So let's try this. Let's have an end state 30. Let's have a start state with nothing in there. 0. Let's try let's have our alphabet be nickels, dimes, and quarters. So let's have a state for each 5 iteration of nickels. So let's have a 5 cent state, 10 cent state, a 15, a 20, and a 25 cents. This is our only accepting state. This is our 25 state, 20, 15, 10. All right. So as long as you get a nickel, you'll keep going across. Nickel, you got a nickel, you got a nickel, you got a nickel. Nickel, 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 nickel. All right. And if you get a dime, you skip over that first one. Dime, the D, skip over this one to D, skip over this one with the D, and you skip over this one with the dime because you're adding 10, right? You go straight over to it. But if you're here, this machine, let's say it doesn't give back any change, and so it goes over here, dime, dime, dime. But what happens with quarters? It just skips over these, goes straight to there. Quarters. And quarters goes straight to here. And let's just say quarters every single time. Let's just keep going here. Quarter, 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 quarter. Because we don't care how many, we don't care about the change in this example, so this is enough. And so we'll see that after this, since we don't care about the change, any more nickels and dimes, quarters you enter will give you the same exact output, which should be whatever you want from that vending machine. Thank you.